This has turned into a really good ball game.
Delayed steal as Robert takes second.
That could prove very costly for the Red Sox.
Baldwin into left field, and the White Sox are going to walk it off in the ninth. Let's go!
And the Sox come away with the win. The White Sox.
Drama for the White Sox on Saturday afternoon. Brooks Baldwin with his first career walk-off hit and the first pinch hit walk-off for the White Sox since 2014. Your starters for the day, Shane Smith and Garrett Crochet. As fun as yesterday was, maybe just the appetizer for what should be a delightful main course here at Wright Field. The White Sox and Red Sox with a sweep on the line. The White Sox can take all three from this Boston team that came in just a little too confident, perhaps, to Chicago this weekend. Welcome into the ballpark, everybody. I'm Connor McKnight. A really good baseball game in the offing here with Garrett Crochet and Shane Smith, a former White Sox All-Star and maybe the next up-and-comer in the White Sox rotation, and Smith going today. Up close and personal for the main event is Brooke Fletcher. She's down and in front of the Boston Red Sox bullpen right now as Garrett Crochet warms up for a start against his old team. Brooke.
Listen, Connor, there's still a lot of respect for Garrett Crochet in this clubhouse, but let me tell you, the guys, they understand the assignment here today. For Lenine Sosa and Andrew Vaughn, they told me we got to be aggressive at the plate. He's going to try to stay ahead of counts, so when he attacks, we have to attack back. For Miguel Vargas, he also just commended him for his leadership and the impact he had in the clubhouse last season. And for Ethan Katz, he said, man, this guy, he's a handful. He goes, I can't begin to tell you the amount of hitters that came up to me last season and said, this is the best arm we have faced all year. He said he even had some guys in the White Sox clubhouse ask him how to face a guy like Garrett Crochet, so he was giving some tips there. But he said today it's all about Shane Smith. He actually said he's seen a lot of similarities between the two. He said Garrett was at his best when he just started to believe in himself and trusting his stuff on the mound. He's starting to see that with Shane, and hopefully he can continue that here today because, man, he is off to an incredible start so far this season. Coming up, we have John, we got Steve. They are breaking down his strong start, and can he continue that? We'll discuss on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere.
My grandma.
White Sox Baseball and Chicago Sports Network is brought to you in part by Toyota. Visit your local Chicagoland Toyota dealer or Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places. Illinois Lottery. Illinois is full of winners. Play today. And by Wintrust, Chicago's bank. Show your team pride with a White Sox debit card. Get yours at wintrust.com/Sox. Member FDIC, EHL lender.
Shane Smith has gone from a guy who was fighting for the 5th and final spot in the rotation in spring to now he has put up one of the best performances in the starting rotation for the White Sox. Take a look at what he's done in his first 2 starts of the season. He has been outstanding. He will get his 3rd start here today. What's up, everybody? Welcome inside the booth alongside my guy. He's Steve Stone. We got bobblehead Steve Stone. More on this a little later. And I'm John Schriffen. Thanks for joining us here in the booth. We have Shane Smith back on the bump for his 3rd big league start. He goes against a familiar face in Garrett Crochet. His first time back here since the trade in the offseason. Steve, this is shaping up to be one of the best pitching matchups we've seen so far this season.
I'm so excited about this day today because you got 2 really good pitchers going head to head. For Shane Smith, this is just an outstanding start to what we hope is a wonderful career. For Garrett Crochet, he's doing for Boston what he did for our Sox. We wish him well, but not today because it's Sweep Sunday, and let's see if we can make that happen. And so far, the Sox are doing just about everything right, and Shane Smith is one of the guys leading the way. You can read that and realize anytime you can go back to 1920 with whatever it is you're doing it really well. And so this is a guy with great stuff. He added a changeup. Right now he's been close to unhittable. And Boston really needs this win, but our Sox would love this win in front of the home folks. Let's hope today that the offense comes to play, the defense plays the way it's been, and Shane Smith can go for a 3rd start of unhittable baseball.
After the walk-off yesterday, Brooks Baldwin, the hero. Now the White Sox going for a potential Sunday sweep. Can they get it done? First pitch coming up. Bring him out, bring him out. Shane Smith gets the ball to try to get the sweep of the series here against the Boston Red Sox. And Steve, this is a dream come true for this 25-year-old. He grew up in Danvers, Massachusetts, less than 25 minutes away from Fenway Park. This is the team he grew up idolizing. He said, I'm going to have a little emotions here for this start.
There's going to be one key to this performance, and that is don't allow the base stealers to get on, because Duran at the top, Abreu hitting 4th, Story hitting 5th. These guys will all run. They've swiped 23 bases, been caught only twice. And so Alex Cora realizes, for him, I know it's early in the season, but for him, They really need this one today, but so do our Sox.
Take a look at the lineup that Shane Smith will face. Duran leads things off in left field, followed by Devers, the DH. Bregman, the new acquisition, at third. Abreu, Story, Casas, Campbell. Narvaez again behind the plate, and Rafael is in center. First pitch in there, strike one with the fastball for Shane Smith. I saw him on the field this week, and he said the first 2 games of this series he tried to get as many emotions out as he could. Just soak it up. Look at the Red Sox jersey that he idolized as a kid. So he can just go out and do his thing here today.
Well, he doesn't have to do anything different than the first 2 starts. He's got to do pretty much the same thing. And his 4-seam fastball is a pitch he leans on, backed up by the changeup and the slider. He's not exactly a 3-pitch pitcher, but pretty close.
On the ground up the middle. And the play is made for the first out here in this first inning.
Let's take a look at the defense and how they'll line up behind Shane Smith. It's going to be Michael A. Taylor, who's off to a very good start with Luis Robert, one of the heroes from yesterday, and Brooks Baldwin, the hero from yesterday in right field. Then it's Lenine, Jacob, Chase, and Andrew in the infield with Matt Thaiss behind the plate. And we told you about Shane Smith and the weather today. A little overcast, 60 degrees, humidity up there at 44%, and the wind very much a factor. Ryan Walsh has got the plate. As you can see, pitcher friendly, which is always good on getaway day and always good when you're looking for the sweep, especially with 2 dominant pitchers on the hill.
1-0 the count here to Devers. Big swing and a miss on that fastball in the outside corner. When you have a team like the Red Sox, they're kind of struggling right now in this situation with a lot of expectations, a lot of high-powered acquisitions in the offseason. Does that put any more pressure on this Red Sox lineup here today?
Well, look, this is their second road trip. The first one they went 3-4. This one they've started out, they're 0-2. And they expected to come in, I think, maybe and dominate our Sox. It hasn't worked out that way because it's a very unpredictable game. But as far as pressure is concerned, it's pretty early in the season to feel too much pressure. I also believe they spent a good deal of money. I mean, you're paying your third baseman $40 million a year for 3 years. Alex Cora is one of the better managers around. He realizes he's got a pretty good team, and at this point they just haven't put everything together. But the Yankees are not pulling away. They're 8-6, so there's still a lot of time.
Alex Cora was very vocal after game 1 of this series when the White Sox won 11-1. 5 errors by the Red Sox in that first game, and he said everyone knows that's unacceptable. That's not how we play.
Well, I think both teams played a really good ball game yesterday, and for the Sox, that's the first game they've won that's been tough and tight all the way.
Swing and a miss on that fastball. First punch out for Shane Smith.
Take a look at the movement of this fastball. You see how it darts away? That's called late movement. It's a 4-seam fastball. Normally you don't get that kind of movement on it, but it's the movement, not the velocity, that fanned Devers.
There's Alex Bregman, and he will deliver that one into left field. Taylor will get it back in. So Bregman a single with 2 outs in this first inning. It is time for our live lines presented by Circa Sportsbook. We check out the odds for starter strikeout totals today. We're going to give you both. Shane Smith over under is at 5.5, and Garrett Crochet, who is waiting, 7.5. Steve.
Well, I think both of these guys go over today. Shane's already gotten 1 strikeout. He'll get a few more, and Bregman doesn't steal often, but he did try to run yesterday on a ball that was fouled off.
Good scoop by Thaiss behind the plate, keeps Bregman at first. Talk about the first. Take a look at that last pitch.
It's a curveball and a very good pick by Matt Thaiss. That's a tough ball to handle, and he made sure Bregman did not advance.
Wilyer Abreu, the right fielder, 1-0 the count. Talk about the run game for the Red Sox. They had 3 stolen bases in the game yesterday. That now puts them at 25 on the season, just 1 behind the Cubs for 26. That leads Major League Baseball. That one hit hard, one fall, and look what he found. Makes the snag. And the White Sox out of this top of the first.
That was a rocket, and Andrew Vaughn doesn't drift too much off the line, able to corral it, and the inning is over.
Well, we know how devastating Garrett Crochet is against lefties, so the White Sox with 9 righties in the lineup. Vargas, Robert, Sosa, Vaughn, Taylor, Chase might drop his 3rd career start, followed by the hero last night, Baldwin, Theis, and Jacob Mamaya's at short.
Garrett Crochet on for his 4th start. As you can see, dominant as usual. ERA at 1.45, strikes out a lot of guys, doesn't walk too many, and you got to get him early. And that's what he's going to use. That 4-seam fastball, almost half the time, backed up by the cutter. He's not exactly a 2-pitch pitcher, but pretty close.
We're noticing the velocity actually down a tick this year than what we saw when he was here with the White Sox last season.
I think that's going to rise a little bit as it gets warmer and he gets more starts. So he's gone with 3 fastballs in a row. The key to hitting Crochet is don't take a first ball fastball, because he's got a slider that will wipe you out.
1-2 to Vargas. And the fastball by him. There's the first strikeout for Crochet.
So this is one of the keys to Garrett Crochet. He can throw it by you in the strike zone. And very few guys can do that. 25% of his pitches in the strike zone are strikeouts. And to throw that to a major league hitter and get him to miss in the zone is really unbelievable. As you can see, Garrett Crochet is elite with all of his stuff. So you got Zach Wheeler, Hunter Brown, Nestor Cortez, and Tarek Skubal. Nestor Cortez doesn't have a great fastball. That's very impressive.
How good was it to see Luis Robert Jr. get on track yesterday? That 2-run home run tying the game, and then in the 9th inning getting the walk, the stolen base, and scoring the winning run.
Well, you could really see it in the at bat before the home run, where he hit a line drive to right field. He was in great position. And this is a guy that the Sox have to have going, because if he's going in the middle of this lineup, there's going to be a lot of runs scored by this lineup.
1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Robert was asked post-game what was more satisfying for him, that game-tying 2-run home run or the walk that led to the actual walk-off. He said, oh, definitely the home run. Without the home run, he says, we're not even in that situation in the 9th. Swing and a miss on that high heat. Crochet, 2 strikeouts to start this game.
Both strikeouts on the fastball, this one up and out of the zone. And you can see the grip on that 4-seamer. It does have a lot of late life. He's always had that. And Luis knows he expanded his zone, and against Crochet you just can't do that.
First pitch swinging is Sosa. Popped up to shallow right field. And Abreu calling it off. Sox go down in order here in the first. We are expecting a pitching duel here today. This half inning is brought to you by Toyota. No score as we start this second inning as Shane Smith in his third big league start here going against this Red Sox lineup. All three of the balls that were put in play in that first inning, they were hard hit, over 105 miles per hour each of them.
Yeah, they saw the ball pretty well, and so Shane is going to have to make a bit of an adjustment. Keeping Story off base to lead the inning is a good plan because he's 6 for 6 in stolen bases.
Delivers this one into center field, the second hit for the Red Sox, and Story will start off this second with a single. Let's go down to Brooke to get to know Shane Smith a little better.
Yeah, I asked him a few questions, starting with, if you could have dinner with any fictional character, who would it be? He said Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. He's a big Lord of the Rings fan, has seen all the movies. I asked him if you could switch lives with anyone for a day, who would it be? He said Mike Vassell. He's like, I want to know what's going on in his head. He's eccentric, he's funny. I would love to know what he's thinking about on a daily basis. And final question for him is, if you had to sing a song in front of a big crowd with no preparation, what song would you go with? He said Party in the USA. He actually did a little impromptu karaoke in high school in front of the entire school, and Party in the USA was his go-to song. It's always a crowd pleaser, right? And Steve, I know we're working on your playlist here. You got to be a Miley Cyrus fan. You love Party in the USA, right?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I party everywhere, but the USA is probably the best place to party at.
With Story on at first. 0 on the count here to Tristan Casas, and the changeup missing outside, ball 1.
I would think Alex Cora is going to try to be pretty aggressive. He's seen the numbers on Smith and realizes he doesn't give up too many runs, so he's going to try to manufacture some.
One on the ground, and a try that might drop. Gets it started for one at second, over to first. A double play.
One of the keys to this year is don't give them the fourth out. And if you have a double play to turn, you turn it. And the combination of Mydroth and Amaya is going to get it done most of the time. Costas realizes, one, he doesn't have much speed, and two, there is no chance to beat that out, so he grounds into 2. Chase has a very quick delivery when he gets the baseball, and those throws are right on the money.
What's great is that he looks great either at second or at shortstop. This is Amaya backhanding in the hole, the long throw, and he does get Campbell. Good start for Shane Smith. We are starting to settle in here.
Garrett Crochet loves to throw that four-seam fastball and does it very well. But Andrew Vaughn loves four-seam fastballs, especially when they're 97 or higher. 400 batting average. Let's see how this one plays out.
Let's go a little pitch for pitch here as Vaughn fouls off that first one, a little out of the zone.
Well, he got the fastball he was looking for, went after it. Couldn't catch up to Chapman yesterday, but normally hard to throw hard fastballs by him.
On the ground up the middle, Story. And Vaughn is retired on 2 pitches. What a story this is for Garrett Crochet. Made the transition last spring from a reliever to a starter. And the key for him was to get all the starts in 32 starts for the White Sox last season. He said that was the biggest accomplishment because even though the pitch count went down, everybody was on the same page to make sure Garrett Crochet got through the season healthy. Push bunt by Taylor. A race to the bag, and Casas will get there, out number 2.
And last year for Garrett Crochet, he made the All-Star team, which is a thrill. The only pitcher since 1901 with 200-plus strikeouts and 33 or fewer walks in the first 32 career starts. Pretty amazing. I mean, you look at those numbers and you realize this is one of the premier pitchers in baseball. He parlayed that into a huge contract, right around $170 million with Boston, and they're going to really like him. He's a quality human being and a wonderful pitcher.
And credit to Garrett Crochet because he made some comments and was actually very grateful for his time here in Chicago and talked about just the conversation he had with general manager Chris Getz in that offseason, October of 2023, when they started talking about making that transition and how Getz was on board and allowed Crochet to prepare in the offseason, becoming a starter. And he said that's what really propelled me to this point in my career.
Well, for years, the Baltimore Orioles have raised a whole lot of pitchers. And they did it a different way than most because they put a lot of their guys in the bullpen to start their careers. That's what Garrett Crochet did. You learn how to pitch out of the bullpen, and then you carry it over into the starting rotation, which is exactly his career path. And so for him, staying healthy was a key last year, showing that he could go a full season and take the baseball for 32 or more starts. And he parlayed that into a wonderful contract and a starting role with Boston.
Even thinking about around the trade deadline when there was all those talks, all the questions, people kept asking him, what do you feel like right now? Your name is out there. He had to deal with that, and then the second half of the season he knew he could put it behind him and just focus on pitching. To the other way, and Casas knocking it down. Crochet covering, Meidroth is retired. Garrett Crochet has faced the minimum. And we got a premier pitching matchup here on Sunday. Shane Smith, Garrett Crochet. This is something to watch. This half inning is brought to you by Hyundai. Welcome back here to 35th and Shields as the White Sox, Red Sox all tied at 0 starting this third inning. It's been a great weekend of baseball. It's been really fun. Obviously the 11-1 win got things started on Friday, but yesterday the vibes here in the ballpark have over 30,000 fans. I was walking out of here yesterday high-fiving people. I mean, there was just so much excitement just knowing winning the first series of the season. Obviously expectations, we know what they are right now, but just to have that feeling again, that was something special.
There was a lot of electricity around the ballpark yesterday, and it certainly helped that it was a close game because the Red Sox were leading 2-0 most of the way, and Luis Robert came up, tied it up. But with Baldwin coming off the bench, delivering the game-winning hit, and everybody just exploding here, it was a feeling that we didn't have too much last year. But I think you're seeing it in the early going here. There's a crispness to this team that probably wasn't there as much as we would have liked last year. The defense has been much better. They're executing, and it looks to me like this team is starting to believe that they can actually compete with some of the better teams around, because make no mistake, Boston's a good baseball team.
And that's what's really fun about it. You look at the run differential. The White Sox are in most games, having a close game yesterday, the first come from behind win all season. Ground ball to short. Amaya off the hop. And there's the first out in the third inning. Let's go to Connor for some news and notes.
Yeah, some goings on in Major League Baseball, some comebacks and some shutouts to get to too. Let's get to your news and notes. We begin with some offense. Pretty impressive for the comeback Padres to get themselves a 12th win. First team since the 2015 A's for all those shutouts. The A's actually went 68-94 that season. I don't think Padres have to worry about that, fellas.
The Padres are a really good ball club. They have a very good ball club in their division. Only the Dodgers lost 16-0 last night to the Cubs. That was a 1-0 game into the 6th inning.
Do you know that was the worst shutout defeat in the history of the Dodgers franchise? 16-0.
Pretty amazing. And the fact is, it was a 1-0 game for a long time, and all of a sudden the Cubs did explode. But the Dodgers, not too worried about that one. They still have a lot of thunder there, some pretty good pitching, and that's going to be a wonderful division race. San Francisco is a bit surprising in the early going. They're sitting there at 10-4.
Bottom of the order, Ceddanne Rafaela. Here's the 0-2 from Smith. Blew it by him. Second strikeout for Smith.
He just goes right after him with a high fastball and throws it by him. And again, just a little late movement. You see the spin he's able to get on that fastball. You make a Rule 5 draft pick. That's exactly what Shane Smith was. And you're certainly hoping for the best because you know you've got to keep him for the full season or offer him back. And the way he is throwing at this point, there'll be no offering back to Milwaukee. But Smith has changed things around a bit. He's added a mile or two on the velocity. The straight change has been a revelation for him. And right now he's dealing with a whole lot of confidence in the early going.
A 1 pitch here to Duran. As we take a look at the Rule 5 picks that have been made so far this season, Shane Smith, Mike Vassell, who we acquired late in the offseason, really well. The other guys picked actually not so well. So the White Sox did their homework there.
They did a pretty good job on both of these guys, and they've got to stay here with the major league team all year, or you have to offer them back. And there's been some great Rule 5 picks in the history of our game. One of the best ever, Johan Santana, who went on with a miraculous career. He was at one point a Rule 5 draft.
Well, it certainly is a bit of a gamble, because to be in the Rule 5 draft, that means the team that's basically exposing you did not put you on their 40-man roster. So if you pick somebody, you got to think in the back of your mind, why did the team let you go in case of Shane Smith, the Brewers? But the White Sox did their homework and found that they thought there was something extra they could bring out of Shane Smith in spring training. And he's done a great job. It goes off his mitt, and a deflection forces that one into right field.
You are hoping that this one goes at somebody after it deflects off the glove. It didn't work out that way, and Meidroth had to go up the middle. That's where the ball was. The deflection put it behind him and into the outfield, and now I would assume Duran's going to be going. He's 5 of 6 this year.
That was ruled a hit for Duran. So that's the 3rd hit of the game for the Red Sox off Shane Smith. I apologize. I said 25 stolen bases earlier for the Red Sox as a team. It's actually 23, but still second in Major League Baseball.
First time up in the first inning, he threw a high fastball and threw it right by Devers. And again, to this point, Alex Cora has not been as aggressive as we've seen.
One. Fly ball to center. Robert is there. And that'll do it for the top half of the 3rd inning. Shane Smith continues to cruise on the mound. What a moment for Brooks Baldwin yesterday.
Well, he got one and drilled it to the wall, and Luis Robert, who had stolen second base, scores easily, and that turned out to be the game winner. Very exciting day.
Was the first walk-off hit for Brooks Baldwin in his young Major League Baseball career. He said, I haven't even had too many of those in my lifetime at any level. So it is something I will probably remember forever. The bunt goes foul, 1-1 the count.
When you're trying to lay down a bunt against a left-hander, and left-handers almost always fall off the mound to the third base side, you want to make sure you get it by him. You want to bunt it right at the second baseman. Hope that the first baseman comes over, because you can beat the pitcher to first base. And the first time the Sox tried it today didn't work out particularly well, as Taylor bunted it right at Casas, who made the play.
2-1. Shows bunt again, and the foul tip is strike 2. When you got a tough guy on the mound like Crochet, hitters trying to do anything they can to get on base. Two-two pitch. And the foul tip into the mitt. And Crochet continues to face the minimum right now through this White Sox lineup.
7 up, 7 retired, 3 on strikeouts. And we'll look at the grip on this one. Not one of his harder fastballs, but certainly effective.
White Sox pitching coach Eastman Katz talked before the game and just about the development from Garrett Crochet, and he said the big thing for Garrett happened in the change started in 2023. He said, I told him that with your stuff, you have to trust it more and stop giving so much credit to the hitters. And he said he really saw him take hold of that last season in 2024. You could feel at times when Garrett was on the mound, he knew his stuff was better than anybody else's stuff at the plate.
All he's got to do is look at some video and realize that his stuff is a whole lot better than most starting pitchers in the major leagues.
And what was interesting, Ethan Katz, the pitching coach, said that's what's happening now with Shane Smith. Shane is starting to believe in his stuff and see how it plays at this level. And he's starting to trust that you don't have to give the hitters so much credit. There's Theis down on strikes. 4th punch out now for Crochet.
This is not where Garrett Crochet wanted to throw it, but it was effective. That's his slider. Stays inside. Matt thought he saw a hanger, but unfortunately it didn't catch any part of the plate. He swung through it.
Bottom of the order is Jacob Amaya with 2 away. Tell Garrett's already in that rhythm. He's getting the ball. He's starting to fire it back. He's working fast.
Well, the scary thing is that's the second changeup he threw. That was a good one. That one had a piece of the corner. You're not going to see many changes, but when he's thrown his change, you know he's feeling pretty good.
Amaya getting a piece to stay alive. Count remains 1-2.
You look at very fast changeups. Cabrera at the top. Shane Smith, Garrett Crochet right there.
Good discipline at the plate by Amaya to let that one go. 2-2.
Down in front.
That is only ball 3.
Yeah, Garrett is going, look, we still have 4 of them in this game, so come on back. I admire wanting to get on base against Crochet, but you need one more of those. Yeah, he's going. It's only 3.
And we have a new contender for SportsCenter not top 10. 3-2. And Amaya to center, but it's going to be right at Rafaela. And he will be retired to end the 3rd. Garrett Crochet racking up 2 more strikeouts. He now has 4 on the day through 3 innings. Your Chicago White Sox are presented by Rate, a top mortgage lender in America, proud to celebrate 125 years of baseball. With next-level technology, competitive rates, and a fast process, Rate makes your home buying journey simple and stress-free. Rate, your home team. Get in the game at rate.com. Thanks for joining us here on CHSN. We have got quite the pitching matchup here today. Shane Smith versus Garrett Crochet. We start this 4th inning, still no score between the Red Sox and the White Sox.
This is exactly what we expected, and this is exactly what we're getting.
Oh-2 here to Alex Bregman. This half inning is brought to you by the Illinois Lottery. Pitch number 40 coming up here for Shane Smith. And it's spoiled by Bregman.
Bregman has an ideal stroke for Fenway Park because he's always been a pull hitter. He does have some power, and he's used to those Crawford boxes in Houston, and the Green Monster is very inviting if you're a pull hitter, especially from the right side.
On the ground to short, Amaya. 1 down to start this 4th inning. Talked to the catcher Matt Theis in the clubhouse before the game just about Shane Smith, what he's learned from it. He said there's going to be a really interesting matchup here today because the strength for the Red Sox hitters is they love fastballs. But now the strength for Shane Smith is his fastball. So he said the key to this matchup, he's had to elevate that fastball. He's got to get it to the top of the zone in order for his breaking stuff and secondary things to play towards the bottom.
Well, you also have to go with your strength first. You go with your strength until the hitter shows you that he can hit that. Then you go to the hitter's weakness, because if the hitter's weakness is also your weakness, it doesn't really help you very much to do that.
Fastball fouled off by Abreu. 1 ball, 1 strike to count.
You're really hard pressed to see a major league team that's not a good fastball hitting team, because if you can't hit fastballs, you're probably doing something else like selling cars or doing that, because these guys are throwing harder than ever before, and the fastball is the first thing they're going to test you on.
Fastball down the middle and is lifted in the air to shallow left. And a nice play by Sosa, ranging from 3rd.
That was a good play because I don't think Taylor could have gotten there. It's off the end of the bat, and Lenine sees it all the way. You know he's calling for it, and he's able to run it down. That's a nice effort. That makes pitchers very happy.
Oh, yeah. We've seen Sosa at first base, second base, and third base just this week alone.
Baldwin's the same way. Meidroth is the same way. So you've got some guys with versatility, and that's going to help Will Venable be able to put them wherever he needs to on a given day.
Trevor Story has one of the 3 hits for the Red Sox here today. Came in his first at bat in the second inning. One. What do you think about the way Shane Smith has attacked in the sequencing versus this lineup here for the Red Sox?
Well, I like the fact that he's thrown some fastballs up in the zone. He's not throwing as many straight changes as he probably will as he moves along. That slider backed up on him a bit.
That's the new pitch for Shane Smith. And in this spring training, Ethan Katz saw the cutter and he said, I think the slider would work better, so he changed the pitch for him. This one hit hard to straightaway center, backing up Robert, and he will track it down. Through 4, Shane Smith keeping a 0 on the board. Garrett Crochet, first time through the order, he was perfect, setting the White Sox down with 4 strikeouts.
Can't be much better than he's been. Let's hope the second time through is the charm and we don't have to wait for the third time through.
That's the 5th time in his career that he was perfect first time through the order. The first time he has done that this season. If you're at the plate for the White Sox second time through, what's the adjustment you have to now make here?
I think you realize you can't take a first ball fastball because between that cutter, the occasional changeup, and a little bigger slider, he's really tough to deal with if he gets ahead of you.
He is ahead of Vargas here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Vargas with a strikeout in his first at bat. fastball is in there, called strike 3. Let's go down to Brooke for a scoop from the clubhouse.
Yeah, Garrett Crochet, he told me the transition from the White Sox to the Red Sox felt pretty seamless. And a big reason for that was the connection between his former and current pitching coaches. You know, Ethan Katz and Andrew Bailey go way back. They coached together in San Francisco, and Katz said they immediately clicked. Same philosophies, same feel for how to use pitchers, and they've stayed close ever since. So when Crochet was traded, Bailey gave Katz a call just to learn more about him. And when Cam Boozer actually came to the White Sox, Katz returned the favor, and the two were just constantly talking pitching, and that trust just really helped make the transition smoother for everyone involved, guys.
That was a huge blockbuster trade. It went down December 11th, and Garrett Crochet talked about it. He said there was so much buildup around that trade. He said especially when it happened around the deadline, people were talking about it. As Robert pops it up. Foul territory, Casas, the wind blowing it, but he stays with it for out number 2. Garrett said once that trade went through, it was like dunking your head in a bowl of ice water. It just happened so quickly, and now he's relieved, and that's in the rearview mirror.
And the return was pretty good. I think that it's almost impossible to evaluate a trade like this. You give a team a lot of today for a great deal of tomorrow. And we'll have to wait a bit for some of them. Mydroth is here. I think we saw in spring training that Teal can really catch, and he's off to a great start. So you look at that trade and realize that Boston got exactly what they wanted to, and I think our Sox will eventually get what they wanted.
Lenyn Sosa line to left, and Duran is there. It is time now for some American Sail fun at home. Well, the wind is certainly a factor today. You can see the flags whipping here at the ballpark.
These two pitchers really don't need much of an advantage, but you see the wind blowing in from left and center field is going to make it really difficult unless you hit a line drive to get it out. But it's not only a little chillier, but that's a very heavy wind blowing straight in from left center field.
Shane Smith now 50 pitches in the ball game, as that one is fouled away. This half inning is brought to you by St. Xavier University. Tristan Casas hit into a double play, his first time up in the second. Paul Clemens at third said he did not go around.
Pretty good change, but Casas was able to check it up.
Two-one. There's the changeup you talked about coming more in the second time through the order.
And that one just missed. So he's missed with 2 in a row. Now he's got to make a tough pitch to a guy with a lot of power.
And the fastball misses, so the first walk given up by Shane Smith. The changeup is the new pitch for Shane Smith. We take a look at the numbers coming into today.
It's been a really good pitch in the early going. But today, at least, he's not throwing it for strikes. And if the Red Sox lay off, you're going to have to throw a few for strikes. The pitch is designed to get a swing and a miss. And not many guys can lay off. I mean, Stephen Kwan not catching up to it. That shows you it's pretty good. Very deceptive also.
His first start against Minnesota, he struck out Carlos Correa in the first inning on that changeup. And that's when Ethan Katz said Shane Smith really started to believe in that changeup. As the White Sox really feel like it's going to be a weapon for him this season. Fly ball to right. Baldwin underneath. And there's out number 1 here in this 5th inning. Welcome back here inside the booth alongside Steve. Mini Steve. I'm John. We'll have more on this later in the broadcast. This has got to be a treat for you as a former starting pitcher, former Cy Young winner, seeing both these guys go at each other.
Well, we thought this was going to be an extravaganza today. We thought 2 really good pitchers, one very young, one a little bit older, going head to head, and it's been everything in that and more. Garrett Crochet has thrown it really well, but so is Shane Smith. This is where you want to throw that ground ball because you got a catcher up. He grounded to shortstop in the 3rd inning. Another one of those, and it's 2 and out of the inning.
In the air, foul territory, long run for Baldwin. He makes the sliding grab. What a catch from Baldwin, known as an infielder, but he's getting more play in the outfield and looked good there.
Time for today's Miller Lite moment. And this is a long run with the wind blowing the ball back toward the infield. Brooks comes on. He keeps his concentration. Watch his head. Not a lot of movement on his head, and he's able to reach down and get it.
Everyone keeps saying how good of an athlete Brooks Baldwin is. That's why there's so much trust in him to play anywhere, even though the outfield's a new position for him. He certainly showed off the wheels and the concentration there. Rafaela gets underneath this one to center field. A 10-pitch 5th inning for Shane Smith as Andrew Vaughn will lead things off for the White Sox when we start this bottom of the 5th.
Follow our White Sox on the Chicago Sports Network, presented by Nationwide Insurance Agent Jeff Vukovich. Get to enjoy knowing the Vuk as much as you do the jingle at jeffvuk.com, because Nationwide is on your side.
4-5-6 for the White Sox to start this bottom of the 5th inning.
Just about time this perfect game go by the boards, and we'll see if Andrew Vaughn is the guy.
Garrett Crochet, in his first time returning here to Chicago since being traded away in the offseason. 1-1. Missing in off the plate, ball 2. When you're traded away, do you circle starts like this the first time facing your former team?
Oh, you want to throw a really good game against a team that traded you. And there's no doubt that you look forward to it. The question is, if you're a starting pitcher, obviously you don't know if you're going to get that rotation. Turns out that it's the 3rd game of the series. But Garrett Crochet certainly wanted this one.
Did that guy make the catch still holding the young child in his arms?
Looked like a pretty good job of that, yeah.
Wait, can we see this again? Upper deck, baby in his arm with the left. That's okay. The assist from the seat. I'm not mad at it. Important thing was he held the baby.
Right. And made sure the little person was okay.
Nicely done. 2-2. Second, and Campbell will make the play for the first out in the bottom of the 5th. You can take advantage of one of our best offers this season. Get 1 ticket and 2 beers to select games starting at $19 with Miller Lite Baseball and Brews. Now you got to be 21 and over with a valid ID. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/brews.
Michael A. tried to bunt his way on first time, but bunted right at Casas, who was able to make the play himself.
I asked Michael A. Taylor before the game, what is your approach against a guy like Garrett Crochet? And he said, it's a really tough at bat, since I only had 1 coming into today against him in my career. He said the first part is he comes at you with such a tough angle. He throws across the body, so the ball is coming at a severe angle into you. And then he said with that fastball and the cutter, everything is going to ride in on your hands as a righty. He said you almost have to get the fastball out in front before it gets into you and try to pull it into left field. But of course, it's easier said than done going against Crochet. Another strikeout. Time now for a message from Powering Chicago.
At Powering Chicago, we build more than electrical infrastructure. We build the future. Our trained, qualified, diverse workforce knows electricity. Partner with Powering Chicago and build better construction, better careers, and better communities for generations to come.
What makes Garrett so tough is the fact that he's got great stuff. That's a given. But he also has deception. It's almost a short arm delivery, and you can't see it that well.
Steve, this is officially the best start of Garrett Crochet's career.
Well, he's got a perfect game with 2 outs here in the 5th, and let's see if Mydroth can break it up. And we'll look at the delivery. It's a high leg kick, but his arm is suspended behind him, and then he comes up really quickly. I don't think hitters see it all that well.
1-2 to Mydroth. Swing and a miss on that sweeper. Garrett Crochet is perfect through 5. My goodness. This half inning is brought to you by Wintrust. Different approach, better results. Shane Smith, this will be his 3rd time through the order. And you can tell the difference in his results. First and second, first the 3rd time.
This is one of the key at bats of the game because Duran will run this time in a scoreless game. You can't let him aboard.
Ooh.
And that one got Brian Walsh. Right off the front of the mask.
Like a true professional, home plate umpire shaking it off. He's back in there with an 0-2 count here to Duran. Swing and a miss. Nasty change from Smith. Let's go to Connor.
All right, guys, we'll check in on a couple arms and a big bat down on the farm. Some names that might be familiar in the trade that moved Garrett Crochet to Boston and got the Red White Sox a lot of interesting prospects. Noah Schultz, not one of those, but getting a good start for Birmingham. You see him raking back in there. Kannapolis put up a big 5th inning. Edgar Caro playing well, too, at AAA Charlotte. Some bright stars shining down on the farm.
All right, thank you so much. The wind really taking this one. Vaughn, look how far he had to run in on that pop-up as they look up at the skies.
Smith went right to first base, realizing, you know what? I'll let the guys paid to catch pop-ups catch it. A long run for Andrew Vaughn as he stayed right with it. And that shows you just how strong this wind is blowing straight in. So it's not that either of these pitchers need an advantage, but boy, a huge advantage today if you're out there on that mound. There's only one type of pitcher that would hate this day, and that's a knuckleballer. Knuckleballers want the wind in their face to make it dance. They don't want it at their back, which will carry it and make it straighter.
Think of Tim Wakefield off the top, especially with the Red Sox here.
There's not too many of them who wouldn't like this day to pitch, however.
One on the count here to Alex Bregman, who's 1 for 2. What's so effective about that changeup for Shane Smith, too, is the velocity. It's still almost around 90 miles per hour, and the thing just dives off the table straight down.
And the key to any changeup is the same arm angle and same arm velocity as your other pitches.
On the ground to the right side, and Bregman will pick up his 2nd hit today. Comes with 2 outs in the 6th inning. Sox fans, bring your pup out to the ballpark. It'll be Tuesday, April 29th, Dog Day, sponsored by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Grab a seat in the outfield and you can watch the Sox take on the Brewers at 6:30. Now the key is there's limited availability. So to purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/promos.
One of the great days of the year is Dog Day.
I love how they all get along too. Dog parks, you never really know what's going to happen, but you bring them to the ballpark. They know they're normally not allowed to be here, and they're on their best behavior.
And they seem to realize that, well, you take that little stroll around the diamond, check things out, go up to your seat in the bleachers. It's quite a day.
So this is the point of the game that Theis is going to go out and remind Shane Smith about his mechanics. We've seen this in each of his starts. When he gets a little tired, Shane Smith said his mechanics start to break down, and he said the key is the front side for him. He starts to pull open with that front side, tries to get a little more on the fastball, and that's when everything goes off.
Anytime you open that front side, when your left shoulder, if you're a right-hand pitcher, the left shoulder opens up, you're going to leave the ball up and away to a left-hand hitter. And you have to stay on top of everything. Ethan Katz is on the phone, probably talking to the bullpen.
(2-0) here to Abreu. And that fastball flies out. Yeah.
It's up and away. Front shoulder flies. Ball stays up and away or up and into a right-hander.
(3-0). And Smith missing on 4 pitches. A 2-out walk.
Download the Chicago Sports Network app so you can stream live White Sox games and stay up to date on all your favorite Chicago sports teams. Download the CHSN app and stream today.
Shane Smith said the key for him is, he said, that front shoulder. He said, I want to keep it so closed that it's almost like I can't see the hitter. That's his kind of mental cue to himself when he starts to feel the fatigue that he's feeling here in the 6th.
Bullpen up and going. Third time through for Shane has been problematic. And Bryce Wilson in the pen.
So 6 straight balls thrown by Shane Smith with 2 outs in the 6th inning. Story to right field. Baldwin backing up, continues to back, and he can't make the play. 1 run will score. The throw comes in, 2 to score. And the Red Sox take a 2-0 lead in this 6th inning. It was Trevor Story driving him in with a double.
It's a perilous day for any fly ball, and that one kept drifting away. Brooks went back, then went across, and the ball just eluded him. This is a high fastball away, and Story, with pretty good power, thinks he got this one. He thought this is out of the park. Brooks is there, but doesn't make the play. Again, that wind is very difficult, especially for a guy who's not a full-time outfielder. And Ethan Katz goes to the mound to allow Bryce Wilson a chance to get loose in the pen. We'll watch it one more time. And Brooks is there, but the ball drifting away from him, and he just can't make that catch.
With the way the ball was already slicing away, the wind was just pushing it further and further away from Baldwin. So the lefty Tristan Casas will step in. There's still 2 outs. Can you feel in a start when you've pretty much hit that wall? You've hit the point where it doesn't feel the same?
Well, one thing to bear in mind, I mean, you get a guy who's starting for the first time in the major leagues, and there's a number of different things that go into it, but there's a lot of pitchers third time through, for whatever reason, they just struggle. You can look at the numbers and quantify it, but eventually, when Shane has more starts under his belt, he's going to be able to work through it.
He struck out Duran and then got Devers to pop out for the first 2 outs in the 6th inning. And the single from Bregman, the walk to Abreu, and Trevor Story's double, making it a 2-0 game for the Red Sox here in the 6th. Good change there. And Smith a strike away from getting out of this inning.
See Casas swinging over the top, swinging at the motion as opposed to the baseball, and that one had a little late sink on it.
Two. Casas sends this one to left, and Taylor will squeeze it. Red Sox pick up 2, and the White Sox have to still deal with Garrett Crochet. Are you ready for your winning moment? You can find it at Wind Creek, Chicago Southland, where the action never stops. Play the hottest table games, enjoy the newest slots, and celebrate big jackpots. At Wind Creek, there's a win waiting for you around every corner. Garrett Crochet's got a perfect game as we start this bottom of the 6th inning. He's thrown 60 pitches, 7 strikeouts. (2-0). And the first 3 miss here to Brooks Baldwin.
Now you pretty much guess you're going to see a fastball.
And in off the plate, ball 4. First base runner of the ball game for the White Sox. Join us for $5 Tuesdays. All fans will enjoy a specially priced $5 concession menu, including draft beers from Miller Lite or Modelo, Garrett Popcorn Stadium Buttery, Vienna Beef hot dogs or Polish sausages, Beggar's Pizza Slices, nachos, and select Coca-Cola products. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/Tuesdays.
I like the fact that Narvaez goes out to talk with Garrett Crochet, because you got a perfect game going. Now you lose the perfect game, still have the no-hitter, but for a lot of pitchers, it's kind of the air leaves the balloon when that happens, and so you get an aware catcher who goes out and says, look, got a 2-0 lead, don't worry about it, just keep filling up the strike zone and things will work out good.
It is great to see Matt Thaiss back in the lineup. Last time we saw him was in Cleveland. He took a couple shots off the helmet off of backswings. He got the last 2 games off. And I asked him about it. He said, I don't have any effects from it. He was definitely, took a beating back there, also some foul balls. But he said, that's what my job is as a catcher. And he said, it's not really about me. My job is how well does our pitching staff do? That's how I judge my success. Into shallow right. And Campbell underneath. Well, this is what happened to him in Cleveland on Thursday. Oh, that was the first one.
Yeah, that one got him really, really well.
And then number 2.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, that's part of the business. That foul balls, very tough. That position is played by very tough guys, because you're going to take a beating back there. Jacob Amaya probably hit the ball harder than anybody in this lineup the first time through. He lined out right to Rafaela in center field, but he stayed right with it, got to 3-2, hit it as hard as you can hit it, but there was a man there.
Well, this is the first time Garrett Crochet has looked human so far in this game, as he's not getting ahead the first few batters here. To Amaya.
For Jacob, he wants to take the ball the other way against Crochet, unless he gets a cutter inside. But for the most part, there's a big hole on the right side with Casas having to hold Baldwin close and Campbell up the middle.
There goes the runner. And it's fouled away by Amaya.
That was a hit and run. I mean, that's a really good call by Will Venable, because you got the right side open and Jacob was looking to the right side but fouled it off.
Will trying to make something happen against Garrett Crochet. 2-2. We saw Shane Smith in top half this inning, and now Garrett Crochet struggling with his command in the 6th. Jason Bourgeois, the first base coach, with his stopwatch, make sure he's got the time.
And Campbell and Story had a little conversation on who's going to cover if a throw does go to second base.
"3-2, and Amaya chased that one out of the zone. That would have been ball 4.
Way up and out of the zone, and unfortunately Jacob could not check it up. That's his 4-seam fastball. And 2 outs in this inning.
Third time through the order. Miguel Vargas is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Eight strikeouts already for Garrett Crochet.
That's the over.
And he's still pounding the zone at 97.
That was one of the best fastballs he's thrown today, so he's feeling pretty good. You can see third time through, most pitchers have a little fall off in effectiveness.
0-2.
Well, I appreciate that Garrett wanted that, but that was a good 4 inches off the outside corner. If you get that one, nobody'd ever get a hit off him.
1-2 pitch to Vargas. And there's strikeout number 9 for Crochet. He has not given up a hit through 6. We knew he'd be good, but he's been really good. If you're just joining us, let's get you caught up. It was a pitching duel. Shane Smith, he had another outstanding outing.
And unfortunately, he run into Garrett Crochet, and everything was good until that. Trevor Story with a double to right field. That's the only 2 runs of the ball game, and Garrett Crochet has been overwhelming.
So Shane Smith gives way to the new pitcher on the mound for the White Sox.
Mike Clevenger comes on. He's got to hold him right there.
Campbell on the ground. Amaya. 1 away to start this 7th inning.
Seventh time Mike Clevenger's been in the ball game. His ERA of 4.5. He's trying to get acclimated to the bullpen. Not an easy transition for a guy who has pretty much been a lifetime starter. And that's what he's going to use. 4-seam fastball, 37%, backed up by the cutter The occasional sweeper and change, and sinker curveball almost negligible.
Carlos Narvaez steps in. Before we close the door on Shane Smith, would love your thoughts on his third big league outing here today.
I thought he threw very well, and the one thing that he'll look back and wonder about is that 4-pitch walk to Abreu. Can't do anything about base hits. I mean, Bregman is a quality hitter. He's going to get his base hits. Story also a guy who has been a good hitter most of his career, but it was that walk to Abreu in between the single and the double that eventually came back to haunt him. Don't forget, only his third major league start, and what we've seen so far is very positive.
Okay, the previous pitch, Theis got hit again, but look at where he hit this one. Oh, on his catching elbow.
It's one thing to get hit in the mask. It's another thing to get hit where you don't have padding.
He said after the season's over, he takes a full 2 weeks off to just recover, let his body rest before he gets back into training. And I know it's a long ways away, but he'll need it after this season. That is a strikeout. Theis will throw it out to first. Oh, and it clunks Narvaez in the helmet.
The one thing that Matt has got to do is try to get an angle on that throw. We'll watch it again. The break was that it bounced right back to him. He's got plenty of time, but he stays there, doesn't get an angle, and wow, that got him solidly in the back of the helmet.
So anytime anyone gets hit in the head, you have to be overly precautious. So the medical staff is going to check on Narvaez.
Matt realizes that he would have liked to have thrown it anywhere but exactly where he threw it. So Narvaez is going to be okay. Again, our Sox get the break with the carom right back to Matt, but unfortunately they can't get the out at first.
Rafaela takes that breaking ball into center field. Connor, what do you got?
Let's take a look at some games in the Central. Reagans with a good one. 7 2/3, 10 strikeouts for the Royals starter, and for the Twins and Tigers, a close ball game. Byron Buxton with a home run in this one, and Spencer Torkelson is homered in back-to-back games.
Torkelson has everything together this year as Mike Clevenger is going to leave this one, and we'll go to the pen and we'll step out.
Sox fans, we know how to play it smart on the South Side. Celebrate responsibly, designate a sober driver, or use a ride share. If you feel different, you drive different. It's not a game.
Got a new pitcher in the ball game. It is Tyler Gilbert. He's out for the third time, hasn't given up anything yet. He inherits Narvaez at first base. There are 2 outs and the top of the order up.
Duran 1 for 3. Singled in the third, struck out his last at bat in the 6th.
Tyler got credit for the win yesterday and faced one hitter.
Wind really starting to pick up around here as Gilbert slings in his first strike. 2-1 the count to Duran.
Been a very tough day for anybody trying to catch a pop-up or a fly ball.
And Gilbert's got the runner picked off. The throw to second in time. It is time to stretch as the White Sox still looking for their first hit off Garrett Crochet. We take another look. The lefty Gilbert had Narvaez picked off, and a good throw to second to complete the play.
Have a seat, bro.
My cut?
Huh?
Are you cutting me?
Yeah, I am. No, dude, just honestly wanted to preface this with, like, you're an absolute manager's dream, dude. The consistency on the field, like, knowing when I plug you in what I'm gonna get is fucking rare, and it's awesome from my end. But, like, even off the field, like, you're the same guy every single day. And so for me, this is one of the coolest days in the world because, like, to be able to tell you, man, that you're going to be a Major League Baseball player and you're going up to the show.
Right now?
You did it, yeah.
Wow.
You absolutely deserve it. Like, you're an incredible young man. I'm going to get emotional saying it, but, like, I do. I care about you a lot, and you freaking deserve it, man.
Thank you.
Yeah? I'm super freaking proud of you, dude.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, my God, dude. Major League Baseball player, bud. Huh?
Thank you. Oh.
What an awesome moment for Chase Meidroth, and well done, AAA Charlotte manager Sergio Santos delivering the news. Those are those moments that just never get old. I mean, those are the moments you live for. We can all imagine what it's like for this young man making his Major League debut on Friday.
Well, it's a moment that he'll never forget. I mean, he could live to be 150. He's still not going to forget that day. And it appeared to be very emotional for Sergio Santos, a former major league player himself. But anytime you can do that, because, you know, as a manager, you're going to have to tell guys, we got to let you go. There's some really tough times, but that's one of the really good times.
There's two kinds of videos that I love in sports that never get old. It is those videos, the call-ups, when you see a guy who get called up from the minors to the bigs. And then it's the videos in college when you see the walk-ons get and earn a scholarship and everyone go crazy for them. Those two moments, they're so emotional. I could see those forever. Luis Robert Jr. fouls off that 0-2 pitch.
This is a cutter that stayed over the middle of the plate, and Garrett is very fortunate that the no-hitter is still intact after that one.
Well, we officially on no-hitter alert here in the 7th inning with 80 pitches from Garrett Crochet.
Man in the on-deck circle has hit the ball the hardest of anybody in this lineup.
Whenever you think of no-hitters, there's always usually a catch or a play that happens. As the changeup sits down Luis Robert Jr. for the first out here in this bottom of the 7th.
Good change in a perfect spot. There is the grip. That's something that Garrett has been working on consistently. He had just about everything else, but he needed that changeup to round out his arsenal.
Some of the hitters in the lineup here for the White Sox today talked to Ethan Katz and wanted to know the scouting report on Garrett Crochet because spent so much time together. And even with the scouting report, with Crochet being here at the White Sox last season, with stuff like this, you still can't hit him.
No, he's got overwhelming stuff and some deception. So yeah, he's a handful. Ethan Katz, who had the pleasure of working with Garrett Crochet, realizes just how special this young man is.
Ethan Katz said he's special. He just hoped he wasn't going to be special here today. But Crochet has been at his best.
11 strikeouts on a high fastball up and out of the zone. And the one man he has not been able to strike out today is the guy he's looking at now, Andrew Vaughn.
That is 4 straight strikeouts now for Crochet. As Vaughn looks to break up this no-hitter in the 7th.
Well, he's at the point now at 2-0 where you can zone hit. You pick out something you really want. And for Andrew, normally that's probably middle away. Just look for a fastball. Anything else, you take it unless he hangs a cutter.
Missing off the plate outside. It's 3-0. Green light.
I wouldn't give him the green light here because you do need a base runner.
Taking all the way. There's strike 1.
You're still going to get something hittable here. So even though you make him throw a strike, Andrew's still well ahead in the bat.
On the ground. Backhanded by Casas. Crochet covers. And the no-hitter is still intact.
Terrific play, and Crochet is there to make it.
All right, I'm excited about this. On Sunday, May the 4th, the Sox will be hosting Star Wars Day against the Astros, and they were giving away this. Now, it's a special ticket package that you have to purchase, a Steve Stone 70s edition. Take a look at this guy. Any resemblance?
Well, the only thing is, I have much better hair than this. Other than that, this probably makes a great paperweight, and that's the best thing you can use it for. It comes with the helmet and everything else, and yeah, that's what it is. My first bobblehead, 56th year in pro ball, first bobblehead.
This is your
ever.
first one?
That's the first one.
Oh, I need a bunch of these. It's the Steve Stone Stormtrooper. You can get your tickets for this exclusive bobblehead package if you go to whitesox.com/Star Wars. Once again, Sunday, May the 4th.
Got a new pitcher in the ball game. It is Cam Boozer, on for the 7th time, an ERA of 3. Red Sox know him. He was one of theirs, and he's got really good stuff. And there is the stuff. He'll use that four-seamer the most, backed up by the sweeper and the occasional cutter.
Swing and a miss. Good pitch from Boozer. A strikeout to start this 8th inning. Grab your group and celebrate at the ballpark from the fan deck at the pregame patio party. Now, we got the perfect space for your group. For more information, visit whitesox.com/party areas, or you can call 312-674-1000. All right, there's a new Netflix special where the Red Sox were followed all of last season, and it's a documentary. It's an 8-part special that's going to take you inside, behind the scenes of what it means to be with a Major League Baseball club. And Cam Boozer is actually featured in one of the episodes. It goes back to his call-up last year as a 31-year-old from AAA to the big leagues. And I asked him, I said, Cam, have you watched the episode yet? He said, everybody's hit me up about it. I've heard about it, but I'm not going to watch it until the season's over. He said, my focus is with the White Sox now. And he has looked really good to start this 8th inning.
Well, he has explosive stuff. There was never any doubt about that. The only doubt, could he throw it in the zone consistently? Because if he does, there's not a whole lot of guys going to square up 98 with some late movement. And that's what Cam has. It's a great story, and he's rewriting that story each and every day he stays in the major leagues.
.100 from Cam Boozer.
Well, he's a little psyched up to face his former team also. So it's not just starting pitchers. It's everybody that gets moved and comes back to play against the team that you were with.
100 up in the zone, then come back with a cutter at an 87 around the knees.
Usually going to get you a strike call, because I'm not sure you pull a trigger on that one.
1-1 here to Alex Bregman. Chopper to short, and Amaya. A nice 1-2-3 8th inning for Cam Boozer. Now the Sox have to get a hit against Crochet. Join us at the ballpark Saturday, May 3rd, as the White Sox take on the Houston Astros at 1 o'clock. The first 15,000 fans, 21 and over in attendance, will receive this, a 1972 Dick Allen MVP bobblehead that's presented by Binny's. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/promos.
This is just a 2-0 game, and there's nothing wrong with trying to break up a no-hitter with a bunt, which brings up the tying run.
Here's Taylor swinging at the first one. Foul territory near the Red Sox dugout. And Casas makes the catch at the rail. For a preview of what's coming up on White Sox Postgame Live presented by Yingling, let's check in with Chuck and Ozzie.
Well, hopefully we're not going to be talking about a Garrett Crochet no-hitter. Chase Mydroth was in the trade for Garrett Crochet. Maybe he breaks it up.
It'd be nice. He got good at bats. I think the umpire grabbed him a couple times with bone inside, then outside. And let's strike out next pitch, but hopefully do it.
Okay. We're going to get out of the way and see what happens here. Back to you guys.
Okay. All right, I've jinxed a few things already this season. Can we come up with some kind of reverse jinx to break up the no-hitter?
Well, I think it would be appropriate. You got a contact hitter. Let's see if he can get the job done.
Just catching a piece of that inside corner, and 1-1 the count to Chase Mydroth. How about this challenge? Your third big league game, and you got to try to break up a no-hitter in the 8th inning. One-two. Mydroth's a guy who knows the strike zone, contact hitter. Crochet's been filling it up. 1-2 to the left side, and it is through. Chase Mydroth breaks up the no-hitter in the 8th inning.
Well, I mean, that's the guy that figured if anybody was going to break it up, he had probably the best chance because he's a guy that doesn't overswing. He is a contact hitter. The irony is that this was the trade. It was Garrett Crochet and 25% of the return for the White Sox into left field. And that's going to be it. Enough pitches for Garrett Crochet. You don't want to take him out with a no-hitter, but Alex Cora does take him out, and just a fine job by Garrett Crochet. You can tell the fans here really appreciate his efforts for the White Sox, and they give him a standing ovation on the road. That's something you don't see a whole lot of. That speaks to the character and the ability of Garrett Crochet. Time now for the T-Mobile coverage cam, and it's the day of Garrett Crochet returning to the ballpark that he started in. 11 strikeouts, just 1 hit, just 1 walk. And what an outing for him, but it's still a close game, and the Sox looking to tie it up.
And the fact that Chase Mydroth, the man who came back in the 4-player trade for Garrett Crochet broke it up. Storybook up the middle, and Brooks Baldwin, a single. Mydroth, he's going to third, and he is safe. Okay. White Sox have 2 runners in scoring position.
So that's really a terrible play by a good outfielder. It's a 2-run game. You can't throw through to third base, because if you don't get him, the trailer, in this case Baldwin, goes into second, and now he's in scoring position. This is a ball you got to get to second base, concede third, keep runners at the corners, and keep the double play in order. Again, Rafael is a very good outfielder. That was a very bad idea.
Theis could not hold up the swing there, and it's strike 1. Chase Mydroth brings a little edge to him. The California kid taking that first to third.
Our fans are going to love him.
Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Garrett Whitlock comes on for the 6th time. He's been very good, ERA and even 3. The game is on the bases. The tying runs at second and third. And Alex Cora is going to concede the run to get the out if he can get a ground ball. The infield is back.
Sweeper laid off by Theis is ball 1.
Got Palacios in the on-deck circle.
1-2 pitch. And the changeup. Oh, the White Sox catch a break.
Yeah, that one was in the zone and fortunately was not called.
Two. Theis, and that one's into right field. Mydroth scores. Baldwin, they're going to hold him at third, and it's a 1-1 ball game.
You're not going to run on Abreu. He's got a rocket for an arm. So it keeps runners at the corners. So here's the break. The first break. That one not called a strike. It had the whole zone. And then Theis takes it through the right side. Unfortunately for our Sox, it was hit too hard. And you got one of the best right field arms in the business in Abreu.
Steve, what a turn of events. Garrett Crochet came into this inning with a no-hitter. It was not only broken up, now the White Sox are on the board, and a chance to tie this game with still just 1 out in this 8th inning.
This team has shown a little resiliency in the early going. They fell behind 2-0 yesterday. They were behind 2-0 today.
So a pinch runner will be Greg Jones at first base for the catcher Theis.
And he has got blazing speed.
So Joshua Palacios, he was called up from AAA on Thursday. Made his White Sox debut on Friday. Jones goes and takes second. And no throw from Narvaez. So the go-ahead run now at second base.
There was no way he was going to throw through unless Jones fell down.
Now the infield will have to come in for the Red Sox.
Now you got to try to cut off the tying run.
This game has completely changed here in the bottom of the 8th.
Changed a lot more with a little base hit here. The infield, all 4 drawn in.
2-0 to Palacios. That changeup sails outside, 3-0. Palacios said, "I've been hitting too many ground balls. I'm trying to drive it, get it more in the air. Anything deep the outfield will score 1. This one down the line in right field. And foul.
Unfortunately, got out a little too quickly on that. And again, Nice call by Will Venable. The 3-0 green light. Why not? Almost found a very comfortable spot to fall, but it was on the other side of the line.
Baldwin, the tying run, is on at third. Jones, the go-ahead at second. 3-1. And a sinker at 97 by Palacios. It's now full.
Got to shorten up your swing here and somehow make some contact.
With one away, the 3-2. And foul tip into the mid, strike three.
Time now for the upcoming schedule presented by Toyota. It's the off day tomorrow, and then the A's come to town for 3. We then hop on a charter and see these same Boston Red Sox in Boston with a wraparound series, including the Monday game, which is a very early game, 10 o'clock here. That's the Marathon Monday.
Yeah, you'll see the runners running around Fenway during the game. Big spot for Miguel Vargas with 2 outs in this 8th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. With 2 down, a base hit will easily score 2 with the speed of Jones at second. Out of the zone again, ball 2. Two-1 to Vargas. Oh, just catching a piece. It was a strike. That's strike 2.
It did have a piece of the strike zone up and away.
With Luis Robert Jr. on deck, Vargas trying to keep this going. Just sticks out the bat, a safety swing.
You were hoping for an off-speed pitch. That was the sweeper. Miguel's got to lay off high fastballs.
2-2. Way outside, and it's now full. With Robert Jr. on deck, you know Vargas is going to get something nice to hit here.
That was too close to take. I mean, it was off the corner, but it was close enough where Miguel could not take it. It was 97. He fouled it off, kept the at bat alive.
Twenty pitches by Whitlock here in this 8th inning. And another one fouled away. We've seen this time and time again from Miguel Vargas. In clutch situations, he has big at bats where he will foul off pitch after pitch.
You see Miguel talking with Brian Walsh, the umpire. Sometimes a hitter will ask the umpire if it was in the strike zone.
2 down. Here's the payoff. And Vargas got underneath it. Fly to left. And the Sox strand runners at second and third. We recap that 8th inning. It was Mydroth breaking up the no-hitter for Garrett Crochet. Left the ball game. Baldwin coming through, but the Sox still trail by 1. Hey kids, next time you're at the ballpark, visit the Kids Club presented by Physicians Immediate Care on the 300 level of the Kids Club. You can receive an official Kids Club ID badge, a welcome kit full of White Sox goodies, and the opportunity to redeem a new giveaway at the ballpark each month when you register. Sign up today at whitesox.com/kidsclub.
New pitcher in the ball game. It is Bryce Wilson on for the 6th time. He's been a busy man. The ERA at 1.29. It's a big inning. It's tough enough to score late in the ball game. They're down 1. There are the changes. Omar Narvaez comes in. Brooks Baldwin stays in but moves to second. Meidroth shifts to short. Palacios stays in the game in right.
Such a swing of emotions we've seen so far this game. The good starting performance from Shane Smith, breaking up the no-hitter of Garrett Crochet in the 8th, scoring the first run, having second and third with just 1 out, but then the White Sox unable to tie the game.
Well, then a piece of bad luck because Theis hit the ball so hard and he hit it to the one guy in the outfield that can really throw well, and that was Abreu. You can't score the tying run.
Wilson gets the strikeout to start this 9th inning.
Throws a fastball by him. It was out of the strike zone. It's a 4-seam fastball. And Abreu just expands his zone and goes down on strikes.
Good curveball to start the at-bat to Trevor Story. Strike 1.
If you're looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th, it's the guys you want up. Roberts, Sosa, Vaughn, if anybody gets on Taylor. Try to push home a couple of runs.
Back-to-back curveballs, and it's 0-2.
There's a Aroldis Chapman. You're going to be a back end of the bullpen reliever. You have to have a very short memory. He was out there, gave up the winning base hit yesterday. Alex Cora going to run him back out there again here today.
0-2. It's been nothing but curveballs here in this at bat to Trevor Story, who is 2 for 3 today with a single and a double. I'll certainly say this: the games have been way more competitive here in 2025 for the White Sox. Story sends this one a long way to left field. One too many curveballs, and that one sent into the seats and left. For Story, his 3rd home run of the season, and the Red Sox go back on top by 2.
Trevor Story has driven in all 3 of the Red Sox runs. There's another curve, but this one hangs on the inside part of the plate, and even with the wind, and I mean it is howling in from left field, this one leaves the park. He crushed this ball.
Well, that ends a lengthy home run drought for the Red Sox. It had been 283 plate appearances, the longest drought for the Red Sox since 1997.
This a day not exactly easy to hit the ball out of the park, but Trevor Story showed you just how strong he is.
Meidroth waiting on it and just over his head. So a 1-out single for Tristan Casas.
Off the end of the bat and barely making it over Chase's head. He was up there pretty good.
Oh, he's got some hops.
Yes, sir.
Christian Campbell, he has reached base safely. in his first 15 Major League Baseball games. And that streak is on the line here as he is 0 for 3 today. Up the middle. And Campbell will get a base hit, making that 16 straight games getting on base to start his big league career.
Campbell was one of their top prospects, and he made it up this year. He's done a really nice job in the early going. He's hitting well over 300. Past the diving Mydroth and into center field.
So after the strikeout to Abreu to start this ninth, the home run to Story, and 2 straight singles for the Red Sox. Flare to left, Taylor coming in, and there's out number 2. The 9-hole hitter, Ceddanne Rafaela, will step in with 2 down, 0 for 3 so far today. Bryce Wilson on the mound, trying to keep this a 2-run ball game, with Robert, Sosa, and Vaughn due up in the bottom of the 9th. Fastball by him, 0-2. Rafaela has seen a total of 8 pitches today. He has swung at all 8 of them. See what he does here with his 9th pitch he's seen. 0-2. Lays off the curve.
I figured maybe it was a trend, and Wilson went with the breaking ball low and away, but he couldn't get him to swing at that one.
Campbell at first, Casas at second. Casas does not have great speed. On the ground, Sosa tried to cut off. It's Mydroth, and he's late to second. So everybody's safe. Rolled an infield hit for Rafaela.
This is off the end of the bat, and not much you can do with that.
So the lineup will turn over. Top of the order for Duran. And with Aroldis Chapman warming up in the Boston bullpen, cannot afford the Red Sox to get in a bigger lead here. 2-0. Duran 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Big hack at that cutter. 2 balls and a strike. Popped up. Mydroth drifting back, but Taylor will make the catch. We go to the bottom of the ninth, down by 2. The heart of the order coming up. Pitching matchup here on Sunday. Shane Smith, Garrett Crochet. This is something to watch.
This is exactly what we expected, and this is exactly what we're getting.
To the left side, and it is through. Chase my drop breaks up the no-hitter.
That's a fine job by Garrett Crochet. You can tell the fans here really appreciate his efforts.
What a special Sunday to close out this 3-game series against the Red Sox.
Now some work to do coming back against Aroldis Chapman. Sox were able to do it yesterday. We'll see if they can do it again here today. On for the 8th time. ERA of 1.50. Sox need a pair. 3 would be preferable. We'll start with 2 and worry about the 3rd.
Luis Robert Jr. starts it off. Swings through the high heat, strike 1. Luis Robert Jr. was the guy who got things started for the White Sox. The 2-run home run, tying the game at 2 apiece. And then in the bottom of the 9th inning, he walked, stole second, and would come around to score the winning run in the walk-off, winning game 2 of this 3-game series. Steve, let's take another look yesterday at the shot.
It was 2-0, and he got a fastball out away and drove it out of the ballpark. That tied up the game at 2. Pretty exciting finish yesterday.
Slider, swing and a miss, and there's one away to start this bottom of the 9th.
Went away from the fastball. That was a good breaking ball down and in.
It is so impressive to see the amount of leg drive that Chapman gets to wing it in there at 100 miles per hour.
There was a time when he could actually get it up there between 103 and 105. That's the one thing for young pitchers. Use your legs, because the muscles are much bigger than the muscles in your upper body. And the Mets years ago had a philosophy they called drop and drive, which was a lot of push off the back foot right as you explode at the hitter. Worked pretty well for a lot of guys who would throw 300 innings a year. Nowadays, if they get to 200, they throw a party for them.
Sosa doing whatever he can to try to stay alive and get on base here. 0-2 pitch. Just getting a piece of that splitter.
When Chapman came up with Cincinnati, they thought he was going to be a starting pitcher, and actually they toyed with the idea of putting him in the rotation for the long haul and realized that with his stuff, the back end is where he belonged.
Two again. As the slider missing outside, ball one. One away here in this bottom of the ninth with the White Sox down by 2.
Triple digits on that one.
And now Carlos Narvaez wants to have a word with Chapman after the last 2 missed out of the zone.
I think he's made some pretty good trips to the mound when he realized that his pitcher either 1 needs a moment, 2 maybe a suggestion from him. So he done a nice job today behind the plate.
Two and two the count here to Lenyn Sosa. Popped up. It'll be Campbell, and the White Sox down to their final out of the ball game. The big opportunity for the White Sox came in the 8th inning. 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. Down by 1, unable to get that tying run across. Vaughn down the line, but foul. Up the middle. And we will keep playing with 2 outs in the 9th. First hit of the day for Andrew Vaughn.
Andrew loves velocity. Chapman has plenty of that. And he takes it right back up the middle. A high fastball. Not real easy to get on top of something that is at or near 100 miles an hour, but Vaughn is able to do it. And the Sox will bring up the tying run.
So Michael A. Taylor has a little history against Aroldis Chapman. 1 for 5 in his career, with Maton now the pinch runner on at first. And home plate umpire Brian Walsh telling Chapman he's got to wait for the batter to be in the box. Taylor 1 for 5 career versus Chapman with 3 strikeouts, 3 walks. He was geared up for that one, but 100 by him, strike 1.
100 downstairs, you can drop the head of the bat on it. It's not easy, but it's doable. 100 upstairs, a whole different story.
Both fastballs have been up, and it's 0-2. Red Sox trying to avoid getting swept in this 3-game series, with the White Sox winning game 1 11-1, and the walk-off yesterday. Oh, 2. Did he go? The crew chief, Adrian Johnson, said no.
This is what Johnson saw, and he did not swing.
One, two. Swing and a miss, strike three. And the White Sox will lose the finale of this 3-game series 3-1 against the Red Sox.
Well, we knew this would be a whale of a ball game, and that's exactly what happened. It was entertaining. It was dramatic. Both Sox played well. Unfortunately, the Red Sox a little bit better, but it was a very good series, well played on both sides. Garrett Crochet comes away with the win, and we'll enjoy the off day tomorrow. I'll see you on Tuesday.
The important thing, the White Sox do get the series win, the first series win of the season. For Steve Stone, I'm John Schriffen. Brooke Fletcher and Connor McKnight, thanks for joining us here on CHSN. White Sox postgame live presented by Yingling comes your way next. Chuck Ozzie. Guys, it's all yours.